When it comes to small business, everything is personal. Welcome to the Making Business Personal podcast, presented by Collective Alternative. Join me, Levi Trageser, each month as I sit down with marketing professionals and small business leaders to discuss common challenges small businesses are facing with their marketing and share strategic solutions and tactics you can implement to enhance your presence and make your brand stand out among the rest. Let's get personal.
Welcome to the Making Business Personal podcast. As you can tell, this is not Levi for this episode. I'm Kylie Kendall. I'm the content director at Collective Alternative, and today I'm very excited for this really special, very relevant, timely, hard-hitting topic that we have today with none other than Collective Alternative's president, Amanda Parker, is joining me to discuss really just the state of the economy, where we're at in today's world, and how marketing ties into that. So welcome, Amanda.
Thank you.
I'm excited to be talking to you.
Me too. Especially, I think this is a good topic. I've had a lot of clients bring it up recently and ask me questions about it. I think it's on everybody's mind. So I'm excited to get this out there and help our small businesses kind of navigate these waters.
Perfect. Well, let's just dive in. It's no secret. It's kind of the elephant in the room that's very visible. Talking about those rising gas prices, interest rates, struggling to find people to fill open jobs. Just everybody is seeing that in every industry. Can we kind of just talk through those shifts and changes that we're seeing in the economy?
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of them. You mentioned several, but certainly paying attention to what's going on, even outside of the economy, what's going on in the world, right? From the war in Ukraine to the Iranians trying to get a nuclear bomb to, all of these different things that it still comes back and affects what goes on here, and it drills all the way down to that small business owner. So I think it's something that we need to pay attention to. We're in an election year. Election years are always challenging. So you've got a lot of political things flying back and forth from side to side. There's a lot of issues we have here on our streets that we need to, from crime to education, that we need to figure out. And I mean, all of that just kind of adds up to what's going on in the world and where's my place in it, and where's my business fall, and how do I get the most out of that, right? Mm-hmm. So I would say looking at the economy is certainly kind of step one. We just received a new inflation report. Inflation's over 9% now. It's the highest it's been since Carter. Mm-hmm. That certainly speaks volumes as to what's going on. The Fed's trying to catch things up, which they're looking at another probably 0.75 increase. So, and what does that do, right? What does that do to people that are looking for homes or looking to build or looking for cheap money to finance projects or anything like that? It's a different way to analyze an approach, and there's two ways of thinking. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, mm-hmm. right? I'm no economist, but I think people look at it and they fall into a holding pattern where they look at increased prices, and we still have supply chain issues, and so they look at that and they hit that holding pattern, and they close their wallets and they're just hold on tight, right? Mm-hmm. And they kind of, I'm going to see how this plays out. Okay, that's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy. Mm-hmm. Because you hold on to it, and you're holding out, putting those dollars into the economy, which then causes the economy to shrink up.
Right.
Then on the other side, you have people who use it to their benefit. Mm-hmm. Things lower and they invest. And they find ways to grow their bottom line by reinvesting in the economy and taking advantage of those opportunities others are holding on, mm-hmm. that maybe weren't there a year ago or mm-hmm. 2 years ago. So I think it certainly depends on the person and their comfort zone where they fall. But I would say when it comes to our small business owners, they start looking at their marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, that brings me right to it. So with those uncertainties, as you were hitting on, it brings people to looking at their expenses across the board for their businesses. They're looking at every single line item, one of those being their marketing. So what would you say business owners should consider, or how should they approach looking at their marketing strategy and marketing when they're making those decisions?
I think it goes back to what I was saying before. You have business owners who look at it and they say, okay, well, I'm gonna sit tight with what I'm doing. I'm gonna sit tight with, my current employees, or I'm gonna cut. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna try and save anywhere I can and hold on to every dollar, right? Mm-hmm. So they start cutting and trimming, and so often marketing is the first thing they cut because they want to save jobs. Mm-hmm. And I get that, right? That's the personal appeal. And after all, our tagline, making business personal, yeah. It's the people part. Mm-hmm. So I totally understand that part. But then on the flip side, you have the people who they see that and they say, okay, this is my opportunity to do something a little bit more than my competitor, mm-hmm. to get out there and really, start marketing my name a little bit more, mm-hmm. so people start learning about me. And if they're ready now, or if they're ready in a few months, they're hearing about me. Mm-hmm. And it's opportunity. So I think it really depends on the business owner. I think it depends on where they fall. But I am, it's funny, we were just talking about this. I am a calculated risk person. So I look at the strategy. I look at what are the potential gains in that marketing strategy. What are your losses? What risk are you taking? Mm-hmm. And if we can gain traction, now's the time to do it.
Absolutely.
There's always going to be ebbs and flows, right? You always have to maintain your marketing approach. Mm-hmm. If you are that person who first goes for, I have to keep my people employed, so I'm going to cut my marketing, well, how are you going to keep those people employed when you don't have any marketing?
Exactly.
If you're not getting the word out there, people are going to forget about you. And they're not going to think you survived. They're not going to think you're still there. Mm-hmm. So then how are you going to pay for those employees? It just doesn't make any long-term sense.
No.
So it's really about how much risk do you want? And let's put some calculations to it to gain some traction when we can.
That's a great perspective. How are you having these conversations then with our clients? Have you been having those conversations? And I mean, it's for small business owners who might not have a marketing partner or aren't really sure even how to approach their marketing. Why is working with you or a marketing firm important?
So I'm going to answer that one in two ways. Mm-hmm. First, as a small business owner.
Yeah.
It is so lonely to be a small business owner. Mm-hmm. Because you feel like even if you have a staff, a team, what have you, you're making decisions on your own. You legitimately feel like you are out on an island. Mm-hmm. And so many people depend on you, and you're trying to take care of your family, and it's everything. Mm-hmm. It's your livelihood. There's so much at risk that it's difficult to get over that freeze, right? It's difficult to get over just freezing in place and trying to just hold on to what you've got.
Yeah.
And I think if the pandemic taught us anything, it's as futile as tomorrow, right? Mm-hmm. And you can't plan for that. You can't plan for tomorrow. You can't plan for hanging on to anything. Mm-hmm. So you've got to make the best of what you've got, and you've got to make the best of today, and that will then set you up for your future. So to answer your question, yes, I'm talking to our clients. Again, we look at where they're at currently, what's happening, what are they seeing? Are there things that we, strategies or campaigns we can introduce, things we can change? Do we need to look at kind of spinning off a brand? What do we need to do? Mm-hmm. So we're analyzing and revamping their strategies. Some have increased because they see mm-hmm. the opportunity to gain some traction. So they've increased their activity. And some are more in a maintenance mode. I want to stay out there. I want to make sure people know I'm still here, mm-hmm. but I just want to maintain. And I think that I don't think there's a right or wrong. I think it depends on the person. Mm-hmm. But I do think the wrong answer is to cut, and not just because obviously I'm in it, right? I have an interest, but I think that to me just doesn't make sense to cut 81% of society right now they're online. Mm-hmm. And that's how they go online and they look. 63% of people start their search for anything by just looking online, not even looking at a business, just mm-hmm. searching a keyword or phrase. 63%. And your largest demographic right now is millennial. Yep. Largest population. So if you're not looking at them, if you're not marketing to them, if you're not thinking about your online presence, if you're not thinking about how do I stay in front of these people, mm-hmm. you are already a step behind. And that can be dangerous when you're facing down a recession. Mm-hmm. The dreaded R word, right? Mm-hmm.
Because if your name isn't out there, if previous and prospective customers aren't seeing you, it's not bringing any business into your door.
Exactly. Yeah. And you also have to combat the fact that you have two generations, millennials and Gen Z, who have never been through a recession. They've never been through an economic downturn, right? Mm-hmm. They've always had it pretty good.
Pretty much. I know. I was pretty young when the last one happened, so
right.
I didn't feel the impact.
Right. Mm-hmm. If anything, you saw maybe your parents buckle down a little bit. Mm-hmm. Not maybe the family vacation was a staycation, something like that.
Exactly.
You didn't really experience it. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot in this that's undetermined. Mm-hmm. There's a lot to see how they're going to react. And you also have a generation that is way more positive. Mm-hmm. They look to the upside, and a lot of that will come in our favor. Mm-hmm. If we do continue to see that economic downturn. I think so much of that, it's political. Mm-hmm. And just like I told one of our clients, I said, don't worry, after 4th of July, gas prices will go down. And here we are 36 cents down, mm-hmm. right? So so much of it is political. Yeah. And you'll continue to see that. Mm-hmm. But there's some real issues there with our financial stability in the United States, and we need to tweak those things.
Mm-hmm. I guess a quick side note, you were bringing up the generations. Do you see that? Because our clients, we do have some clients who are younger, some a little older. Do you see those conversations being different then? The overall demeanor of those based on those differences? I mean, when...
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. The clients that we have that are older, that have been through it, have seen it. We have builders that went through 2008, mm-hmm. the real estate bubble burst, right? Yeah. And they are very cautious. They're very quick to hold up. Let me reevaluate. Let me look at really what's going on mm-hmm. before they make a decision. And then we have younger business owners that are, full steam ahead. Let's power through this and get this done. I mean, a pandemic didn't take me out, so, let's go.
That invincibility.
And again, I don't think either one is right or wrong. I think it's a matter of comfortability and how they want to look at it. My job is to look at the details, look at the ROI, look at the spend, make sure that we're seeing the right return on their ad spend, we're seeing the right percentage of increase or revenue. They might not hit those, lofty goals like they had in the last year or two, but if they see growth at, a certain percentage, that could be good enough. And we don't always like good enough. But sometimes, especially in today's economy, good enough might just be good enough. So it's making sure they have all of the data that I can give them, the options, so that they can choose that calculated risk. And they can choose what they're comfortable with. So it's making sure that we're supporting them. And the small businesses that are out there on that island that really don't have somebody to give them the data or don't have somebody to talk through that with or, give them all the scenarios, come in from the cold, Call us. We offer a free strategy session. We can talk about it. We can break out the numbers, and I'm happy to do that. So many people think working with an agency is super expensive, and some of them, yeah, but not us. We pride ourselves on not being expensive. And there are other firms out there too that are designed for small business, and they want to work with them, so they work it into their price model. So find those people and get some good strategic help.
Absolutely. I think it's great to build that truly a sounding board. Not only are you talking and getting in the weeds with marketing with our clients and looking at those from a strategic approach just in marketing, but you really take the time to look at the whole business and help them. It's not just marketing, it's hiring, it's overall business planning. And I think it's great to have a partner like that who truly makes it personal. Yeah. Again, using our tagline there, but
Definitely. It's so perfect, right?
Yeah.
We still have clients hiring, and we've been helping them with that. From everything from advertising for new hires to doing the initial interviews for them. So we still have clients hiring. We still have clients growing. We still have customers looking for those clients, and that's our job. Our job is to keep them out there and get them in front of people where they're looking.
For the small business owners who don't have a marketing partner, don't have Amanda Parker in their corner, or need to, or are looking to, but right now in the moment, they're looking at their entire marketing. What is one thing you suggest, or one main tip that you have for how they should approach their marketing right now in this economic landscape?
Okay, well, I gave you the one thing not to do.
Yes.
The one thing not to do is to retreat. Don't retreat.
Don't retreat.
Don't retreat.
Nope.
The one thing they need to do, and we touched on this, it's your web presence. They have to be out there. So even if that's just getting a good search engine optimization program, working with us or working with an SEO person, somebody that can help them just really kind of capture that online presence where they want to be and need to be so they can be found, that's pivotal. Absolutely pivotal.
Absolutely. Okay, well, wrapping it up, I feel like we could talk about this forever, but
now you're in my wheelhouse.
I know.
I love the strategy part.
Yeah, that's what makes you so great at this. You're speaking to small business owners, so small business owner to small business owner. It's a crazy time to be a small business owner. What is some advice or words of encouragement that you would give to them through this time?
I would say I would say the wrong time to regroup and consider your marketing approach is when you're scrambling to stay afloat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at it right now. Look at what's going on. Look at where your risk line is, and look at some of the opportunities out there to take advantage of and go after that. In the long run, it's going to set them up way better.
Mm-hmm.
And don't retreat.
If there's one thing they take away, don't retreat. Don't back down.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
We lost too many small businesses in
Yeah.
the pandemic, and I don't want to lose another one of them.
No.
Not a single one. So it's any way we can help them. It's ways they can set themselves up for future success. It's making sure that they're looking at their future and taking advantage of opportunities that are out there, and some they don't even know they have.
Mm-hmm. Well, and as small businesses are the backbone of our economy, what is the stat? The percentage of people who work for a small business in our country?
In the 80 percentile.
Yeah. It's essential. We have to keep that strong. Perfect. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Amanda?
I don't think so. Thanks for having me today.
Well, thank you for talking with me. And as Amanda mentioned, Collective Alternative, we are always here for you. So don't be afraid to reach out, schedule a free consultation, sit down with Amanda and the rest of our team, and really just go through your marketing goals, challenges, and truly look at your business and how we can help effectively set you up for success now and into the future. Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you again so much for listening to the Making Business Personal podcast, and we will see you next month.
Thanks for listening to the Making Business Personal podcast. Do you have a marketing question for our team? Want to hear more about a topic? Let's get personal. Connect with us, submit your questions, and share any feedback at collectivealternative.com. And don't forget to subscribe so that way you never miss an episode. We'll see you next time.